Okay, so I've got my back rail roughly cut and 2 end rails. So I'm going to use this piece of 40mm stock for the front rail and the draw front. I'll try and get a grain matched kind of setup going there. So I want a thicker draw front so I can have a nice kind of dovetail feature. So I'm going to cut this piece up for my front rail. Okay, so after ripping the board down, you can see there's a nice big crack here and it comes back along here. I really need most of the length of this. So what I'm going to do is try and force some glue into this just to hopefully hold it in place. I actually think I am going to chop a lot of that off, but I'm not entirely sure. So while that's gluing up, I'm going to start flattening off and smoothing out the boards for the rails. Okay, this is my long rail. I've just marked my rail length on each end, 916 long. I've just got a pencil mark at this point. And that's actually my shoulder point. So I'll scribe. This is my reference corner, outside and top. And so my tenon's probably only going to be about 20mm long. That seems fine. Yeah, I think 20. Why not? So I can roughly cut that off. This is going to be my front rail, and I want to have a continuous grain, so I'm going to have a drawer in the middle somewhere, and I want continuous grain. Obviously anyone who's done anything with continuous grain before will realize you've got to account for the kerf, the saw kerf, when you cut these pieces out. Now I'm only going to probably cut this with a tenon saw. The curve is minimal, but I'm still going to want some room for cleaning up. So I'm going to work my way from one end. So I'm going to cut a rail section with enough for a tenon, and then cut my drawer front, and then cut the other rail section. And that way I can allow for a little bit of cleaning up. So that'll be a 228 rail. So what I've done is divided my rail into 4. So first I divided it into 3 to have 3 even sections, and I thought that would make the drawer too small. So I've divided the amount of space I have by 4, made the drawer 2 of those, so half of the space, leaving a quarter at each end for rails, and that way it's still a symmetrical layout at least. So I'm going to cut this and then clean up the ends, and then measure the next part, and then cut that, and then clean up the end. Well, if I can do that again by hand, you pretty much don't have to clean that up. One of the last things I grabbed as I walked out of my workshop, I suddenly remembered I had this shooting board that I made, years and years ago, and I don't even think I ever really used it. For some reason there's a big undercut on this piece. Not sure, it shouldn't really be too much of a problem. It seems relatively square according to my little square, and I vaguely remember I made it for this plane, which is a nice big heavy plane, which is ideal. So I'm going to clean up the end of that cut, mainly on the drawer side, so these two go together like this. It may be difficult to see, but the back of the cut over here drifted towards the outside, which means if this piece is the drawer front, as it tries to come out, it's going to bind. So I need to square off this bottom edge, the back edge of the drawer front. Not sure what's going on with that. Okay, well, that's good enough for this point. Okay, so got my drawer front with my 2 small rails. my 2 side rails ready to go. And my 1 long back rail. It should be the same length as those, which it is. So, that's tenons for now. Next part will be mortises. Right, see you then.